Bienvenidos amigos a otro episodio más de MMA Info. Tenemos aquí a nuestro invitado de hoy, Cory Hendricks. Le haremos algunas preguntas y es un contendiente muy influyente en lo que es la Liga PFL. So, hello friends. This time we have the protagonist of the most impressive PFL upset and one of the most notorious in MMA in general. Owner of a great courage and heart, wants to continue marking history. We talk about Cory Hendricks, who is with us. Brother, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, really quick, the first question basically is that we have seen that your case somewhat curious. In the first place, your time as an amateur was short, and even more curious is that you start your professional career after your amateur fight was a defeat. What changed in you after you starting professional career and you start very good stick? Tell us what you changed that you have the positive results.
Well, first of all, you're probably getting that from like Tapology or SureDog or something where they don't have all my amateur fights. I had 9 amateur fights total. I think there's only a couple of them that are shown online there. I was 6-2 with 1 no contest as an amateur, and my last amateur fight was actually a no contest, which was it was I consider it a win basically because I was on top of the dude. I was hitting him and he turned, and so like one of my punches hit him in the back of the head, but it's because he was moving, and then he was pretty messed up at that point, I guess, and couldn't continue. So they called it no contest. But uh, to me, I mean, it felt like a win. It was one of my better or probably my best performance up to that time. So I wouldn't say. I mean, I guess I made some changes, but really, it's just been continual improvement. Like ever since I started training, it's just always finding ways to do things better, learning and just trying to get better. So that's just what I continued doing from the time I started training through my amateur fights and into my pro career until now. It's just always trying to get better.
Okay. So, básicamente la pregunta fue que al principio de su carrera empezó con su carrera amateur algo corta y de hecho de que la primera pelea amateur haya sido una pérdida. Luego él nos explica que realmente él tiene 9 peleas amateur y que la última fue de hecho un no contest por un golpe en la nuca, pero cambió su plan luego que se llegó a ser profesional y luego de tener una más experiencia pudo desarrollarse más como peleador y ya siendo profesional. So the second question is, I mean, tell us about your time in Tough, the experience in the house, and then your time in the UFC.
Yeah, my time on Tough, it was both really good and really bad. It was a very unique experience. It's just kind of a weird thing being in the house like that. You have no contact with the outside world, and it's just a really unique experience. For me, it was really good and really bad. I got a neck injury while I was there and was in significant pain the whole time. So it was the worst pain I'd ever experienced. So that was really bad. But if I ignore that aspect, it was actually really good. There was a bunch of cool people there. I learned some stuff and just got a good experience out of it.
Good. Entonces, la pregunta fue que cuando él estaba, cómo fue su experiencia en TOF y luego cuando volvió cuando estaba en el UFC. Él dice que fue una experiencia única por el hecho de que el hecho de estar encerrado sin ningún contacto realmente puede afectar a un peleador y de hecho tenía una lesión en el cuello, pero aún así lo describe como una experiencia única y que pudo aprender mucho de ella. So the third question is that, I mean, how did you get to PFL and how do you feel in your new home, in this new league?
So after Tough, I had 1 fight in UFC. I lost that fight. And then when WME bought the UFC, they made a bunch of cuts, and I was one of those cuts. So after that, I ended up going over to Russia to fight for ACB, which turned into ACA. And I fought for them for 6 fights, I believe. And then my contract was up with them, and PFL had always been something that had been on my radar because win this tournament and get $1 million. It's a pretty sweet deal. I just looked to get into PFL, and I wasn't able to make it into the season last year, but then someone fell out, and I was brought in to replace them, and almost made the playoffs, but not quite. And yeah, so I stuck with him, and I've been with him this season. It's been great. I love fighting for PFL. The only thing I don't like is that there's no elbows allowed.
Entonces, le estaba preguntando cómo se siente en la nueva liga, PFL. Él dice que luego de que tuvo una pérdida en la UFC, hubieron varios cortes. Luego de eso fue a Rusia a pelear y tuvo exactamente 6 peleas. Luego de eso hubo un atleta que se lesionó y él fue el reemplazo. Dice que se siente muy bien, que el $1.000.000 realmente le parece un trato bastante jugoso, por así decirlo, y que el único desacuerdo que tiene es que no se permiten calls, pero después de ahí ama la nueva liga en la que está. So the next question is that for the beginning of this season, right, you were scheduled with nothing more and nothing less than Emiliano Sordi, former champion and great favorite. What was your impression knowing the difficult fight that awaited you?
Well, actually, I got Emiliano Sordi. I got switched to him on a week's notice, so I wasn't always scheduled to fight him, but got switched to that a week out from the fight. And you know, I mean, my initial reaction was, okay, awesome. It's a tough fight, but you know, I know I can beat anyone in the PFL. There's a bunch of tough fighters, and I'm not saying that if I fought them all, I'd win every single fight, but I know I'm capable of winning every single fight. So that's kind of how I go into most of my fights is I'm confident in my preparation and my ability to win, but I never know that I'm going to win because there's so many factors that go into fights that you really can't predict for sure. So, you know, I got Sordi, and I was like, all right, that's a tough fight. I can beat him though. So we just got to, you know, watch some tape, come up with a good game plan, which me and my coach Mike Pyle and Neil Melanson did, and came up with a great game plan for him. And so I went in there confident in my ability to win the fight. I knew it would be tough, but yeah, I went in there. I knew I could win it, and I did.
Very good. Entonces, la pregunta fue cómo se sintió el hecho de pelear con el former champion, el campeón Emiliano Sordi. Él dice que recibió esa pelea con una semana de anticipación, pero que siempre se mantuvo preparado. Dice que hay muchos factores que realmente no se pueden predecir, pero el trabajo de él es confiar en él mismo y confiar en el campamento que lo está entrenando. De esa manera, así aumentando las posibilidades de ganar, y al final lo hizo. Thank you for that answer, by the way. And also, talking about Sordi, did you show actually great heart and determination in this war? Did everything go according to the plan, or was there a room for improvisation?
Honestly, that was one of my best jobs of sticking to the game plan that I've done, I think. And overall, it went about as good as it could have gone for me. You know, I didn't take any damage. I got hit twice. He hit me with like a glancing uppercut and hit me with a body shot that didn't do anything. So I never actually got hurt in the fight. And yeah, it went, I mean, about as close to the game plan as a fight can go. You know, everyone has a plan when they go in there, but very rarely does it go exactly as you think. And I wouldn't say it went exactly as I thought, but it went very closely to what I was trying to do.
That's really very good. La pregunta fue si con la pelea de Emiliano Sordi, si todo fue de acuerdo al plan o hubo algún espacio para la improvisación. Dice que ese fue hasta ahora el mejor performance que él estuvo apegándose al plan que estaba teniendo. No fue exactamente como estuvo porque hay muchos factores que realmente pueden variar, pero que la pelea más cercana a él apegarse a su juego de pelea fue esa. So, other thing, in a possible final which you could be present against, who you like to fight, or who do you think you could face?
In the finals?
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of have to see how everything plays out. You know, everyone's tough. There's no easy fights in the PFL, but I'm capable of beating absolutely any of them. So it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, it's just we got to see how everything plays out, and I'm fine getting matched up with any of them. I think I'm the most well-rounded fighter on the roster, and I'm more than capable of beating any of them. So I don't really care who I get matched up with.
La pregunta fue que si él tiene alguien en mente con el que pueda pelear en la final o si entiende una posible pelea con alguien que realmente sea compatible con su estilo de pelea. Él dice que la gran mayoría de peleadores son duros, específicamente los que están en la final, y que aún así confía en sus habilidades para ganar cualquier pelea. So the last question is basically, if do you already know who you will face in the next fight, and what can we expect from Cory Hendricks for this challenge to come?
First answer is no, they have not given us the matchups for our next fights yet, which is a little frustrating because it shouldn't take this long to match up 10 fighters. It should be pretty straightforward, but they usually give them to us kind of last minute, usually like 3 or 4 weeks out from the fight. So still don't know who I'm going to fight, but what you can expect is the same thing that I always do is I go into the fight well prepared, in shape, and I go out there looking to finish the fight.
Entonces, hasta ahora, la pregunta era si le habían presentado a alguien para pelear en la cartelera próxima. Él dice que aún no le han dicho nada y que es un poco frustrante por el hecho de que no debería tomar tanto tiempo, debería ser un poco más directo con esa información, pero aún así, como la respuesta pasada, simplemente se va a pegar al plan y está listo para pelear con quien sea. Again, Cory, it was a pleasure to meet you, and we really have this privilege to have you on our channel. We really appreciate it, and we wish you the best. If you want to say hi to some fans in Dominican Republic, we much appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And yeah, I've never been to the Dominican Republic. I'd love to visit sometime. And if I have some fans out there, thank you for the support. I appreciate it.
We sure will follow you, man. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.
Thank you, too.
Bye-bye.